The information and tips on this show is not intended as a substitute for personal medical advice. Before making any decision regarding your health, please consult a physician or other qualified healthcare practitioner.
Hello and welcome to African American Health Matters. Well, African American Health Matters is a new mobile health text message and multimedia outreach that gives health tips and reminders to our subscribers right over their cell phones.
Yes, it actually gives them their health tips for things like remembering to take your medication, tips on handling diabetes, hypertension, losing weight, and also breaking all those bad habits.
Now, you can register online and get health text messages on your cell phone by going to www.africanamericanhealthmatters.com, or you can call our 800 number, which is 1-800-677-8441. That's 1-800-677-8441. 8441, and somebody will get back to you probably within 24 hours to get you registered.
African American males die more frequently from sudden cardiac arrest due to hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM, than any other demographic. There are warning signs, and there are steps that you can take to protect these young lives. Learn more about hypertrophic cardiomyopathy and sudden death in the young at 4hcm.org. which is the number 4hcm.org. Take care of those young lives. They've got promising futures ahead.
Each week we have tips from our mobile text message, and here's some for today.
Heart flutters. Your heart needs vitamins, minerals that aren't in our diet. Magnesium, calcium, iodine, and B-complex are 4 heart supplements.
Colon cancer. A good night's sleep helps the body fight colon cancer because rest decreases levels of cortisol that regulates our immune system. This comes from allcoloncancertips.com.
Here's one on watching your weight. Take stairs instead of an escalator, elevator. Start with 1 flight. Soon you'll be ready for 2. This comes from www.fi.edu.
Bad habits, and we all have them. Let friends and family know you have new rules about your bad habits. It'll save having to face temptations at get-togethers. This comes from one of our favorite websites, www.lifescript.com.
Over the past few weeks, we've interviewed physicians about a number of diseases and health matters that relate to our health and discuss how various diseases and health issues specifically affect African Americans. There's so much information we've gotten from our physicians. We want to thank them for taking the time to educate us about African American health matters. This week we want to start wrapping up some of our previous interviews, so for this show, we're going to have a full half hour of doctors we've talked to in the past, continuing their discussions about various diseases.
Great. Well, this is Tuckson, and I am the Physician Executive Vice President of UnitedHealth Group, and I'm excited to be a part of the show.
Dr. Tuckson is a graduate of Howard University, the Georgetown University School of Medicine, and University of Pennsylvania's General Internal Medicine Residency. He is the Executive Vice President and Chief of Medical Affairs at UnitedHealth Group, a Fortune 25 health and well-being company that serves 75 million members worldwide. Dr. Tuckson has been Senior Vice President of Professional Standards at the American Medical Association, President of the Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science in Los Angeles, and Commissioner of Public Health for the District of Columbia. He's also been featured on the cover of Black Enterprise magazine and named one of the 100 most powerful executives in corporate America.
Yeah, as physicians, you mentioned about physicians being evaluated, and I think this is a good thing. But as you say, physicians are people. You've got those who are good at record keeping and those who are not. You are part of the American Medical Association. How, in general, do they feel about how this will affect the patient care should these reforms move forward?
Physicians are a heterogeneous
Yes.
a homogeneous group.
Yeah.
Physicians are different, just like all people
That's
are
right.
different. And so what you find in medicine today, just as you find in any other field, are those who are eager and ready to adopt change. And then you find others at the other end of the spectrum who are, resistant to change, fearful of change, or unable for some reason to change. So you see quite a wide spectrum. Then, of course, you get most of the folks who are in the middle. At the end of the day, physicians go into medicine because they care passionately about the work they do and trying to provide the best possible quality of care to their patients. Physicians' lives are challenging and quite frankly, often unpleasant.
Yeah.
They have many different masters, many different rules to follow, lots of complexity in terms of dealing with many different entities, and they are often frustrated by just the daily work of trying to do their job that complicates their ability just to focus on the individual patient in front of them. That being said, I think that you are going to see a fairly rapid transformation as physicians get it. One thing for sure is physicians are smart.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Smart, bright people who know how to adapt.
Yes.
And they will figure it out. They're figuring it out already. So on one hand, a great deal of frustration on the part of physicians. On the other hand, I think a recognition that the world is changing. They had better change. And at the end of the day, who could be against things that are trying to provide and document that their patients are getting the best care that's appropriate to each individual.
Absolutely.
And that healthcare resources are not being wasted, thereby making affordability of insurance out of the reach of the average American. Nobody would stand in the way of those goals, and I'm certainly sure that physicians won't either.
No, I agree with, I really tend to agree with that. And I think actually some of the younger doctors that are coming out will have, since they're moving into this world, will have a lot easier access or easier transition into this than maybe some of the older ones who are used to doing it, a different way.
The issue there that I would just emphasize, and I think you're right, some will make the transition better than others, but for the African American community, I think we need to be very clear here about the meaning of this for our community.
Absolutely.
We know, and I know that you have covered, and thank you for the work that you have done,
Thank you.
to talk about disparities in healthcare, where we know that we can have documented that African Americans suffer disproportionately from preventable illnesses.
That's right.
But also receive worse healthcare outcomes too often
That's right.
when compared to their white counterparts.
That's
So
right.
let's just be very encouraging that we now will have a much better ability to know whether or not the care that we are receiving is good, whether it is appropriate to my individual needs, whether it meets the highest standards of what the scientific literature suggests I ought to get, and also is it being delivered in a way that's cost effective and affordable.
Absolutely.
That's very important.
Yes,
So
it
instead
is.
of the patient being dependent, being paternalized, patted on the head, lucky that I'm here for you, you should take whatever you get. Now it is the patient that has an opportunity to be much more in the driver's seat to ensure that what they're getting is what they need to get. So I think this is a very positive. And then one other element that is very important in this transparent evaluation of the quality of care is it's not only the quality of the clinical care, it's also contributed to by the patient's recording of their experience with care. Did I get treated with dignity, with respect? Were my wishes made part of the clinical decision process? Did I understand the guidance, the instructions, the recommendations made by my physician? And if I don't have these things satisfied, I'm going to be able to report those things, and it will be used as part of the evaluation of the physician. So I think that as African Americans, we should embrace this movement of performance assessment, and we need to be trained to use it.
That's
use
right.
Evaluations
Exactly.
that occur, so that we pick physicians and hospitals and health settings that are good at treating our diseases, that we pick communicating with us, people that want to take the time to communicate with us to make sure we understand our treatment and our options and what's going on. So we're moving into an era here that I think is going to be very important, and all African Americans need to be prepared to take advantage of these new tools and these new opportunities.
I agree 100%. And, because we are part of African American Health Matters, and we have a mobile text service that alerts them of different diseases and resources and things like that, this whole issue of health reform is so complex because I'm looking at the patient, and you just brought something out. The patient will have to be involved in their own health. And half the country is over 50 years old. Half the country is of that thinking that the doctor has everything. I'm doing exactly what my doctor says. I'm not going to question anything. And he said, do the. I mean, this is so, to me, antiquated. I mean, a doctor is a human being, and you have to be aware of what's going on in your body. And I'm wondering how, with African Americans specifically, who are not used to checking on the internet. In fact, 52% of our audience that get our mobile text service, even though they may have internet on their phones, don't have access to a personal computer. So how are they going to be able to keep up with this and keep up with their own health? And, I have a place online. I can check my medical records in 24 hours. I can go get an MRI or whatever, and I can find out exactly what those results are even before my doctor calls me. There's so many African Americans who don't have that access, don't understand that access, and don't really understand the value of having my own opinion about my body. And I'm seeing that as a complex transition for us.
Well, I think you really hit a big issue. So a couple of quick thoughts here is, first of all, we wish, I hope everybody just listen to your question, your observation, because you sound like the kind of person that we want everyone to be, and that is, you don't seem shy.
No.
You seem self-confident. You seem like you're not easily intimidated, and it seems like you care about whether you live or whether you die.
That's right.
So we all should just take what you just said and you're the role model.
Oh, wow.
we will play you out as we go to the doctor. We'll just let you be our role model.
Coming from you, that's really something, Dr. Tuckson.
That's all you got to do. Everybody's got it now. Do not be intimidated when you go to the physician.
Yeah.
It's your life.
That's right.
That's right.
You only get one turn.
That's right.
And nobody is more important than you are. Also remember this: physicians care about you. If you find one odd one who doesn't, then that's their problem. Leave.
That's
Find
right.
you a different one.
That's right.
That's right.
Remember that the overwhelming majority of physicians went into medicine because they care about patients. And so I just want you to know that you're doing your job, and they want you to be good advocates. So not only should you not be intimidated, you should embrace it, and a good physician will embrace you.
We need to learn that.
That's your right.
Yes, we do.
The other thing is that information is everywhere, and certainly, the internet is pretty much ubiquitous. And while we may have a little less penetration of it in our communities, there is almost no place you cannot go and get online. There's not a library anywhere that you can't get online.
That's right.
They're not civic centers, community centers, senior centers. You can go almost everywhere and
get online,
log in, and be connected to information.
Yeah.
And almost everybody has a smartphone these days.
Yeah.
And uses them. And the data and information that we need is increasingly going to be delivered into our smartphones. And so it's there. And there really, quite frankly, is no excuse to not have access to information. You'd have to work really hard.
Or be very lazy.
You have to be very lazy. And at the end of the day...
And there are those out there that are lazy.
Well, for most people, all we can do is beg them and plead them.
That's all you can do.
But folks, but if you can't reach everybody, focus on those who actually would like to live free of preventable misery, agony, and suffering.
Yeah, that's right.
99.9%. If somebody else wants to go and sit in the corner and be sick and suffer and die, well, you do your best. I love them, and I wish I could reach you, and I'm going to try, and I'm going to continue to try. And we're going to try to send the church member to knock on your door.
Yeah.
And hopefully the Civic Association will reach out to you.
Yeah.
We got to do everything we can to help that person.
That's right. That's right.
Slow down on everybody else who's to get information. So
That's
let's
right.
get at it.
That's right.
By the way, I really am serious about those church groups, civic associations.
Oh, we are too.
Sororities. If you know that there is a member of our community who just doesn't get it and is sitting in the corner alone, sad, sick, suffering, we do need to knock on their door because we care about everybody.
Yeah.
And we got to reach everybody.
Yeah.
So we do what we have to do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the other thing is, I would say this: I'm a member of an organization called the National Patient Advocacy Foundation.
Oh yeah.
And it's a very interesting group of people. They're a philanthropy nonprofit organization that has a mission to really help safeguard patients through effective mediation that assures that when they get into a problem with their doc, their health insurance company, the Medicaid, Medicare, whatever it may be, and you feel like you need somebody to help you, to talk you through how do you resolve a problem. Let's say you get a bill and you don't understand the bill, or you can't pay your bill and you've got a problem, you need to go. Whatever those kinds of challenges are with interacting with, whether it's physicians, but also with the financial element of healthcare, this organization is there to sort of help people out.
They are.
And so I would just remind people that we are learning a lot from engaging with people.
Yes.
And I think the lesson that we at the National Patient Advocacy Foundation have learned is that, just like I said, doctors aren't dumb, people aren't dumb either.
Yeah.
That if you give people information and give them access to guidance, people can get engaged.
Yeah, they can.
They don't when they have knowledge,
Absolutely.
and have advocates, all of a sudden people go from being real shy to being real powerful.
Real powerful.
And so what we need to do in every element of healthcare is to get people to be tigers and lions.
That's right.
On behalf of their own health.
That's right.
And I think that I have great confidence in Americans and great confidence in African Americans that with a little encouragement and a little support, we can get at this.
Yeah, we can.
Speaking about the Patient Advocate Foundation, do they help anyone without insurance?
They actually help people, those who have lost their insurance, they certainly help. And they also can help people to get information as to find out where to go to try to get it. So they mainly focus on people who have insurance and who are having challenges with their bills and so forth and trying to understand it. But they also provide very important referral sources for those who are uninsured, and also they have a special task to help people that are underinsured.
Yes.
People whose insurance just doesn't cover enough. And they can certainly try to give people some guidance and advice about what to do. By the way, let me just give you a number in case anybody
that'd be great.
Reach out to the Patient Advocacy Foundation. They're at 800-532-5274. Now, some people didn't have their pencil out, so I'm gonna read their website, and then I can read their phone number again so they can write it down.
Okay.
Their website is www.patientadvocate. That's all one word. Patientadvocate.org. And their phone number again, now that I've given you a chance to get your pencils out, is 800-532-5274.
That's great. The Patient Advocate Foundation is a partner with the African American Health Matters, our patient education mobile tech service. We are on the internet.
When you look at the statistics that you have talked about before in terms of the disparities in healthcare, the sad, outrageous, tragic reality of so many African Americans who die too soon and suffer too long.
Yes, Lord.
It just it demands action.
It does.
And unfortunately, we are not using our community infrastructure sufficiently to prevent disease, promote health, and to help mitigate the suffering once we do get diseases.
Yes.
So our church has to be a place not only for spiritual healing.
That's right.
It's got to be a place for physical healing.
That's right.
And we need to be using our church resources. We need to make sure that the men in the church go and help support a woman who is pregnant and has no one to take her to her prenatal visits.
Yes.
Make sure she gets to those prenatal visits so that a baby can be born healthy.
Yes, that's
We
right.
need to make sure that the senior citizen that is just released from the hospital and doesn't have enough to eat and has trouble getting from their bed to that we're there for
Absolutely.
her and move her, pick her up so she doesn't get an ulcer on her
That's
on
right.
her hind parts.
That's
because
right.
She's sitting too long in one spot, but she can't move herself.
That's
we
right.
need to be able to buy groceries for the person who's just suffering and just needs somebody to help for a short period of time. We as a community need to be embracing our own. And this isn't a government program, and it isn't something that can be
That's right.
It's not going to be in anybody's bill. It's just called being good people.
That's right.
So I just hope that the example of Bishop Jakes and others is one that carries over. But if we as African Americans are waiting for somebody to ride in on a horse,
not going to happen.
We're going to be waiting a long
Yeah, we are. And as you say, Dr. Tuckson, it takes a village to raise a child and to respect our elderly as they are growing older, and to keep disease and health information and resources available. And this is sort of the slant that we've been trying to do in our patient education program is involvement. It's a family affair. If you have prostate cancer, your wife, your children, everybody's involved. If you have heart disease, and you're not going through this alone. And so I'm so glad you said that, because it does take a village for us to sustain, just like it always has, except in a more complex way than ever before.
But good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Dr. Tuckson, we certainly do appreciate you taking the time to spend a few minutes with us today.
Yeah.
Very historic. You said a lot of good words of encouragement.
Really did, yeah.
We just need people to listen to what you said and take all this in. We'll be a much better world if that happens.
Well, you guys make it a much better world, so thank you for getting
Thank
the
you.
information out, and thanks for the way you present your information, and you're such friendly, accessible people, and I know that your listening audience benefits from it. And so at the end of the day, let's all keep working together. After all, what's more important than whether we live?
Absolutely. Thank you, and God bless. Take care now.
Okay,
bye-bye.
Welcome back to Health and Home Report. I'm Laura DeAngelis. Jason Snelling may be known for his moves on the football field as number 44 of the Atlanta Falcons, but he's also making strides as the spokesperson for the Epilepsy Foundation's African American Outreach Program. We are thrilled to welcome Jason to the show, and to start, Jason, please tell us, what is epilepsy?
Epilepsy is a neurological condition that causes brainstorms, and generally it's called a seizure disorder.
When did your seizures begin?
My seizures began as a young teenager, about age 12, and it progressed, and I was diagnosed with epilepsy at age 15.
How do you educate your friends and the team about your condition?
The best way to educate my teammates and friends is just to talk about the condition, spreading the knowledge of what it is, being a positive face for it. I think the more people know about it, the more responsive they'll be and the more willing they'll help to fight it and, find a cure for it.
Jason, please tell us about your work with the Epilepsy Foundation.
I speak at events, just doing appearances, speaking out to peer groups, the kids with epilepsy. Anything I can help. If I have the time to do it, I'm willing to do it, because I know it's a condition that's not talked about enough, and a lot of people suffer from it, and that need the help and the things that I've had to become where I'm at now.
What do you want people to know about epilepsy?
I stick through a mindset and a challenge in myself, something I call powering through. Life's going to give you adversities on and off the football field, and I just take it, one step at a time, So I have good days and I have bad days, that kind of helps me get through my epilepsy. I want people to know that epilepsy doesn't stop you from having a successful life. You can do all the things that you love to do with this condition with the right help, and through that, I just want people to just be positive about it and do the right precautions and the right things to take care of themselves with epilepsy. And although it could be hard at times, it has a lot of positive to it when you control it and you do the right things to stay healthy.
Do you recommend people contact the Epilepsy Foundation, and why?
I definitely recommend people to contact the Epilepsy Foundation just to get the knowledge of what epilepsy is and how the condition affects people every day. I think knowing and having the knowledge, will help, spread the word about epilepsy and hopefully just find a cure or just implement a lot of programs and things well needed for people suffering with epilepsy.
It's been great to have you with us, Jason, and we wish you the best with all your efforts on and off the field.
Thank you.
For more information, visit hhrtv.com/epilepsy.
Here's some news and information for today's program.
Black Americans with lupus have better response to flu vaccine. Black Americans with lupus have a higher antibody response to flu vaccination than whites with lupus, the new study says. This may be good news for Black Americans with the disease, since patients who had a weak response to the flu vaccine were more likely to experience moderate to severe disease flares following vaccination compared to patients who had a greater response.
A new study shows that gene variant is linked to sudden cardiac death risk in blacks. Roughly 13% of people of African descent may be at risk of potential fatal heart arrhythmias, the study shows. A common gene variant among black people may be linked to the development of life-threatening heart arrhythmias, and this is when the heart beats too fast, too slow, or irregularly, according to a new study. In pinpointing this gene, Duke University Medical Center researchers hope to one day help doctors determine which patients may likely to benefit most from the implantable cardiodefibrillator. This is an ICD, and it is a device that automatically detects and corrects potentially deadly heart rhythms by delivering a jolt of electricity.
Bunions are usually caused by prolonged pressure put on the feet by narrow-toed, high-heeled shoes that compress the big toe and push it toward the second toe. Over time, the condition may become painful as extra bone grows where the base of the big toe meets the foot.
The Patient Advocate Foundation. All of these cases involve patients with chronic, life-threatening, or debilitating conditions. Some need help taking on their insurance company. Others have no insurance, while others have coverage but need financial assistance to buy medicine. None of these clients will ever have to pay for the help they receive from the Patient Advocate Foundation. And the foundation is able to successfully resolve more than 98% of the cases it takes on. For more information, please visit us at www.patientadvocate.org or call us at 1-800-532-5274.
You can register online to receive health text messages by going to www.africanamericanhealthmatters.com, or you can call at 1-800-677-8441, and someone will get back with you within 24 hours to get you registered.
We want to thank our physicians, speakers, and guests for joining us on CyberStation USA, and we want to thank CyberStation USA for their support and vision for African American Health Matters on CyberStation USA. Be sure to tune in on Fridays from noon to 1 to African American Health Matters on CyberStation USA.